All right, so in this week's guitar lesson, we're going back to the basics in a way, and we're going to be learning a call-in response, a bluesy call-in response style lead that's played over a very simple jam track that has only one chord. So you don't have to follow chord changes and get caught up in that. It's one chord to play over, and we're going to be using the minor pentatonic scale, pattern 1. We're going to limit ourselves to one position of the pentatonic scale. And I'm doing this on purpose to eliminate variables and show you the kind of music that you can make using basic tools like the pentatonic scale. You don't have to get caught up in theory and trying to learn new things out of the box all the time. Sometimes it's going back to the basics that give you what you need to really express yourself. And so hopefully you'll walk away from this lesson with some new ideas, things that you haven't thought about as they relate to call and response and also the minor pentatonic scale. So I've got this lesson split into two parts. In this video, we're going to go through the first half of everything I just played. If you'd like to learn the second half, download the tablature and also the MP3 jam tracks, which I have in multiple tempos. You can get those things by going to activemelody.com, go to the weekly lessons page, and do a search for EP545. Okay, so one chord that we're playing over, and really this song is an A minor. If you were to play, there is a piano that's happening, playing there, but I don't know that I ever actually played a third interval in the chord. I think it was just the root and the fifth, but it sounds, because of the bass line, it sounds like a minor chord. So I would call this an A minor for sure. And in fact, I didn't play any A major stuff. So A minor, which means we're going to be playing A minor pentatonic scale, and we're going to be right here. Pattern 1 of our A minor pentatonic scale. Let's listen to the first part and we'll break it down. So when I wrote this, I wrote the jam track first, and I had no idea what I was going to play for lead. That's how I always do it, by the way. But all the lead stuff that I played ended up sounded like Otis Rush. It had kind of an Otis Rush vibe. So if you're an Otis Rush fan, you'll appreciate a lot of this stuff. And so anyway, because of that, I ended up kind of going in that direction. I kept hearing Otis Rush things in the back of my head. Anyway, so I started, so we're minor pentatonic scale, A minor, and I started in pattern 1, and I'm on the 4th string, and I use my ring finger to slide from the 5th fret up to the 7th fret. So that's the first thing. And that starts with the downstroke with the right hand. And then we go up, down on that same note. So it's like this. Now, if you have a hard time, if that's too fast, you can go like this. You just hit it twice. So if you're just kind of getting into this, you can't keep up with the tempo, that's okay. That's how I did it though, down, up, down. And then we go back to the 5th fret, back to the 7th fret, and then we go to the 5th fret, strings 2 and 3. Play both of those at the same time, double stop. So we have... That's a great little lick that you can use already. Even if you get nothing else, you walk away from this video with that one lick. That kind of thing works into your blues lead anywhere, in any key, because you're relating it back to your chord shape. See, that's the big thing for me, is everything goes back to a chord shape. So that's my E minor shape. This is my minor pentatonic scale pattern 1, which I connect to that shape. That way I can use this lick in other keys. You just have to find that E minor shape. Now remember, this is a call and response style lead, and so what we just played was the call. So we keep using that same call each time, but the responses are different. The response can be whatever lick you want to play, but just keep it in your, the same key obviously, but keep it in the same vein. So I'm just staying in the minor pentatonic scale. So here's what I played. So this response is definitely an Otis Rush sound, and it's back in the same area. So we're starting it by sliding to that 7th fret 4th string. Then we jump up to the 3rd string and play. That's 5, 7, a little half bend, back to the 7th fret, back to the 5th fret, and then we repeat that. So I did that twice, so it goes. And then I went 7th fret 7th fret 3rd string without the bend, hit that twice, and then back to the 5th fret 3rd string. That was the final lick. So all together. Now, one other little thing, this is a little nuanced thing, but I found myself going back and playing back here. Actually, I was even further back. to get that real twangy, bright sound. And what I'm doing, I mean, now that I think about it, is I'm differentiating the response. The response has a different tone. So the call, more mellow, closer to the neck. And then the response was back here with, you know, just a different tone. Why I did that, I don't know. I wanted it to almost sound like two different instruments sort of having a conversation with each other. Okay, so now we're back to using that same call. The only difference is the walk up. I go. So there's a little walk up, 5, 6, 7 on the 4th string. Other than that, it's exactly the same as what we learned the first time. Now this second response goes like that. Again, it's just minor pentatonic scale, pattern 1. Nothing new here, but maybe there'll be a new idea for you. So that's the same, 7th fret, 4th string, and then we jump up to the 3rd string and play 5, 7. Same thing we've done. And then from here, we're going to do a full bend, as close to a full bend as you can get. I think I didn't quite make it all the way, something like this. But then I hit the 5th fret 1st string. So I went ahead and barred the first 2 strings there because I'm in my mind, I'm thinking that sort of Chuck Berry style. Now when I did that, I'm picking the 3rd string for the bend and I'm using my ring finger to pluck that 1st string. You don't have to do it this way. That's just how I'm doing it. Like that. You can just pick it though. It's just a preference thing. There's no right answer on that. Just letting you know how I did it. So, bend, hit that note, and then I did it again. And then I came back to that 7th fret 3rd string and went. So that's a bend and release, 7th fret 3rd string, bend, release, 5th fret 3rd string, back to the 7th fret 3rd string, 7th fret 4th string, and then 5th fret 3rd string, and then the last note was the note we started with, 7th fret 4th string. So now that may not seem like much, that little lick there, but to me that is the blues. If I were to boil the blues down and get some of the most essential elements of the blues, to me that lick is in the heart of it all. I mean, it seems simple, but I hear that in everything. I could play an entire lead using that little 4-note box there. In fact, I did that actually. I'll put a micro lesson up if I can think of it after the fact, where I did that. I did a whole lesson on just that. And actually, that pretty much is your minor pentatonic scale, those 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then with the bend, you've got the 5th note. All right, so we had the same call again, but this response goes like this. So let's look at that. Starts with that. Sounds a little weird. There's a hammer-on between the 5th fret and the 7th fret on the 3rd string, same notes we've been playing. And then I hit the 5th fret 2nd string, and then we go back to that 3rd. So I left my ring finger on that 7th fret 3rd string to let that ring out, to get this sound. I like that. It's just a little bit weird sounding, but it's that clash creates a dissonance that I really like the sound of. So we have that hammer on, and then that 5th fret 2nd string, and then we go 3, 2, 3. Those are the string numbers. And then my pinky came up here and hit the 7th fret 2nd string. Now that's the one note that is actually not in the minor pentatonic scale. That note, why would that note work? Well, the reason it works would be, it goes to the mode thing. That's a note from Dorian mode. So those of you that know your modes, you'll go, oh yeah, okay. So you have this note. Remember, Dorian has that pattern. Dorian is a minor mode, so it works well over this. It's kind of weird sounding, though. It's not like sad. It's sort of a happy minor sound. It's a weird way to describe it, but to me, that's what Dorian is. It's minor, but sort of with a more positive sound because of that note. So we have Now after that 7th fret 2nd string, we're going to go back to the 5th fret 3rd string, and then 7th fret 4th string, and then we're going to walk it up. This is kind of the way that we play it in the call. It's 5, 6, 7 on the 4th string, and then 5th fret 3rd string, and then back to the 7th fret 4th string. So all together that response goes. All right, so now we're back to the call. It's pretty much the same, but I changed it up a little bit, the order of the last 2 notes. So the way we have been doing it, like it goes like that. This time I played it like this. So just went backwards. 5th fret strings 2 and 3, and then landed on the 7th fret 4th string. Starts the same way. Just to give you a little variety. All right, so this last response goes like this. Hopefully you'll walk away with some ideas from this. Now this is still minor pentatonic scale pattern 1. We're up here on the 8th fret 2nd string. We do a full bend, and then we match that note. We hit the same note, but on the 5th fret 1st string. So we go. And those are your first 4 notes. So it's 8th fret 2nd string, and then we go 5th fret 1st string. We go back to the 2nd string and go 8, 5. And I use that all the time when I'm playing lead. Now we're going to come down to the 7th fret 3rd string and go 7, 5, and back to the 7th fret. And then 5th fret 2nd string. So we have... Let's put those 2 sections together. Now from here, watch this. 5th fret 2nd string to the 5th fret 3rd string. And then we're going to go 7, 5, 7. That's on the 4th string. So let's play all of that. And then the last note is that 5th fret 3rd string. And then I think I trailed off with that 7th fret 4th string. So it's all together. All right, so the minor pentatonic scale, even though you might consider it basic, it's actually very versatile and gives you so many options for things you can do. So hopefully you've picked up a few ideas just watching this. If you did, leave a comment and let me know. I always appreciate that. It helps me know that I'm on the right path and helping you. So come join us for part 2, where we'll go over the last part of this lead. And as a premium member, you'd have access to the tablature, the jam track, and then all the many years worth of in-depth lessons just like this. So go over to activemelody.com and check it out if you haven't done that. All right, we'll see you in part 2.